Interesting. Okay.
Hello, Julie Cliff, professional organiser at Space and Time.
And I'm Christie Flora from Flor&Order, a productivity coach based in Melbourne.
And today we're going to be talking to you about being productive, staying connected, making life as normal as possible if you found yourself working from home unexpectedly in these changing times at the moment. So we're going to go through about 9 points to help you, as I said, keep productive, connected, and life as normal as possible. Christy, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so working from home, it sounds like a dream to many people, but really it can be quite difficult to make that transition. What we find is that we are actually our own worst distraction. There's multiple things at home that you're not having to contend with at work. So it's a whole new ballpark, if you will. So the first thing to do is it might sound really awesome to get up and do your work in your PJs, but really what you want to do is continue that structure. So keep the alarm clock set to that time that you would be normally getting up at. Get out of bed, hit the shower, have your breakfast. So important to have a good meal the first thing and feel charged for the day. Enjoy your cup of coffee and remember that you would be having that commute time into work. So take your time during this part of the day to set yourself up for success for the rest of that day. And get dressed. I often put on lipstick even when I'm working at home, just to feel like, okay, I've arrived, I'm here, and I'm sitting down at my desk to work now. So keeping that structure is really important, just so your brain gets into gear and you know that it's time to work.
Yeah, I visited a friend yesterday, and their son is home from school at the moment. But he still got up and put his school uniform on just so he feels like he's still doing schoolwork. So I think it's a great idea to get up and get ready for the day.
Yeah.
So the next point we were going to talk about is, you said breakfast. Take your time.
Enjoy.
And just get ready for your day. You said about taking time, and you might even want to start a new routine, get up a little bit earlier and get into your day. Do some exercise before you get started into work. But the next thing I thought that we should have a good think about is, what are you going to do when you sit down at your desk? What's your to-do list? What's sort of your top 3 things that you need to get done that day? And then, any more than that would be a bonus. But it's important to set your intentions at the start of the day, being productive and having that little to-do list beside you as you're going along to keep you focused during the day. As you said, it can be quite difficult for you to work from home if you haven't had to do it before, and can be quite distracting. So keep that to-do list close to you. And I'm going to say about turning off notifications on your phone, on your laptop. Turn off Facebook notifications, turn off your email notifications, any others that might go bing, bing and distract you. Keep it simple, keep yourself focused, and without those little things, because of course, as soon as it dings, that's when you want to go, scurry off sideways and see that little cat video. So try and keep yourself focused. Did you want to talk about the getting into the day and the Pomodoro technique and some ways to keep yourself on track?
Yeah. So getting stuck into your day, as Julie was saying, about setting your goal for the day, that intention of what top 3 things am I actually going to have done by the end of the day. That one way to really tackle those top 3 is to, as Brian Tracy in his book Eat That Frog says, eat the ugliest one first. So you might have 3 not so pleasant tasks to do, or they might all be pleasant. I hope for you that they are pleasant, but choose that ugly task first and get it out of the way. It also just makes the day not seem quite as long if if you've ticked off a few of those easier tasks, and then you're coming up to that really hard one. So yeah, getting stuck into your day by looking at your top 3 and knocking off the hardest one first really helps set you up for success. Yeah, Julie mentioned the Pomodoro technique, otherwise known as the tomato timer technique. So that's where you set either you can use an online version excuse me, online version of the tomato timer, or you can, if you actually have a kitchen timer yourself, set it for 25 minutes, knuckle down, do as much as you can, stand up when it goes off, have a break, and then either reset it as many times as you need to get the task done. Yeah, I think in this part, yeah.
That 25 minutes is the traditional amount, but amount of time, but you can set it for whatever you like. I often do myself 50 minutes work, head down, backside up, and then a 10-minute. But you can, as you said, reset it for 25, whatever works for you, just to be keeping yourself focused, whatever works for you.
Yeah, definitely.
The next thing I had that we were going to talk about along those lines of using a timer was even trying to get a couple of jobs done during the day while you're at home. Don't get too sidetracked. Don't start procrastinating and clean up your desk and clean the whole house. It's more like, okay, well, let's put a load of washing on. And again, you could use the timer of the washing machine. I think my cycle on my washing machine is about an hour. So you could get quite a bit of work done in an hour while that washing machine's on, and the break could be your 10 minutes of hanging it out. But again, don't get sidetracked. But that would be a way of staying, getting some jobs done while you're at home as well, but just keep it within reason. So that should be a day.
Sorry, just on that point, it's really I find it's just changing your view or the environment that you're in. So maybe you put on the load of laundry, you're really going at something, and then the timer goes off and you need that break or just to refresh, and you come back with some new ideas. So it's really great because you're getting things done that need to be done around the house, as well as refreshing your brain and coming back to the piece of work and bringing those ideas back to it and that freshness.
Yes. And you were just touching on the idea of breaks, making sure you're having a lunch break. Again, you might put the timer on for that, get outside, exactly what you're saying, change of scenery, schedule an afternoon tea if that's what you would normally do at work. Talking about our current situation at the moment where we might be a little bit more isolated than normal, you might want to flick somebody a quick text or a something like that, just while you're having a little break as well. You were telling me a great story the other day about the virtual water cooler, Christie.
I'd read a newsletter actually came through to my inbox about creating virtual water cooler moments at home. So this is like when you're working in an office environment and you happen to go make a cup of tea, or you need to go to the printer, and then you end up chatting to someone about the most recent episode of Maths, or or the current climate, whatever else is going on. And just that refresh and connecting with someone helps revive you back into the work and gives you that little bit of a refresh back into what you're needing to focus on. So when you're working from home, you're often quite isolated, and you can create these virtual water cooler moments by reaching out to a friend, such as like Julie and I do every week. We have our water cooler moment over FaceTime like this, and or you can shoot someone a text, or have a few moments looking at a Facebook feed and flick someone an article that you've read, or those kind of moments that create social connectivity, which can be kind of lacking when working from home. I think that was about it about water cooler.
That sounds good. And then the afternoon session, that you could call it at home after your lunch break, after a couple of virtual water cooler moments. Your afternoon session could be scheduled similarly to your morning session, using your timer, breaking it down into your tasks, what you want to get done, and focus on that to-do list. And you were going to talk about some other techniques in the afternoon.
Yeah. So what I find, I help a lot of clients identify when their energy cycle is highest. So when they're most able to do creative work, or when they're able to really do their deep thinking work. And what I find is that a lot of people, myself included, in the afternoon, when you're starting to wind down almost, that it's best to have those easier items for you to tinker with, or things that, like, that need to get done, like filing, or I quite like numbing out to doing my invoices, that kind of thing. So so saving those things for the afternoon, so you can take a bit of a mental break, so but you're still achieving stuff. So that is called proactive procrastination. And so you're procrastinating in a way, but it's very useful time still. But you're just identifying that your brain's not going to be quite at capacity, and you're giving yourself a break and doing the easier tasks that still need to be done.
Yeah, definitely. So invoicing and a few other things that you mentioned there might be a little bit boring. Certainly very important to keep the money coming in, and often with something that you don't want to do, when you've actually sat down and put your timer on and you're getting stuck into it, it's never ever as bad as you think it's going to be. So get those jobs done. I like that idea of being proactive and keeping yourself going in the afternoon. Did you have any other points before we're going to wind down at 5 o'clock when the day finishes?
No, that's hopefully by this time you've had a really great day and you've ticked off your top 3 and you're feeling fulfilled, and you've had a good lunch break, and the day is feeling kind of semi-normal.
Yes.
That structure you've put in place, and then you had a really good saying around this time.
I'd like to use the idea of the 5 p.m. bus. It actually came from a baby sleep expert that talks about catching the 7 p.m. bus to get the kids to bed, work your day backwards so that everything falls in line, so that you can put your baby to sleep at 7, and then you've got time to yourself. So I like to call it the 5 p.m. bus, just like you would if you were working in town and wanted to run and grab the 5:10 train home. Still, when you're working from home, still work as though you're going to knock off at 5 o'clock. So maybe 15 minutes before, have a look at your to-do list. If there's something that you haven't done, transfer it to your to-do list the next day. Give yourself a tidy up so everything's put back in place, ready and clean and neat and tidy, ready for you to come back in the next morning, so you can hit the ground running. Same thing that you can do at home. It might even be putting the laptop away. If you're working at the kitchen table, put it away so that it's not distracting you, and just quickly creep over there and check those emails. But try and give yourself that brain space and that break by knocking off properly and tidying up, getting your to-do list ready for the next day. So I think that's just a nice way, as I said, dash out the door to catch that 5:10 train home. And then you've got some time to spend with your family in the evening, as part of that community, that connection that we'll need to keep important at this time. Do you want to talk knocking off and enjoying your downtime?
Well, I knocking off at the end of the day and packing up. I've got a screen here that then I pull across my little area. So then I'm like, okay, this is done. That was a day well done, and it's time to think in a different space. Then that's either if my housemates are around, I have a chat with them, or even just make some time for yourself to catch up on your latest binging show on Netflix, or watch read a good book, or just to have some downtime to actually let yourself rest and prepare for the next day. Super important. And yeah, this is a great time too in the evenings to have those lengthier chats with friends, because you may be working from home, but you're still working. So that took a little while for me to train my family. That
Yes.
I may be at home, but I'm still working, so I still need to maintain those boundaries around when to have those social conversations. So indulge in them in the evening.
That sounds like a great plan, and try and keep away from the other channels that might be trying to, pass all the bad news on to us. So try and keep it light, keep it upbeat, and just be a bit conscious about the social media we're consuming as well in the evenings.
Yeah,
So the last I had on my list is sort of could have gone at the start of the day as well, but it was preparing your lunch and your snacks the night before, just as though you would as if you were going to work. Next day, decide when you want to do it, as soon as you knock off that night or after dinner, whenever you would normally prepare your lunch to take to work. Get that ready for the day too, so that you're not standing at the fridge wondering what you should eat at lunchtime, when you should really only have half an hour, depending on your normal work day, that type of lunch break, and snacks, and water, and as healthy as we can, to stop that temptation of just going to the fridge and cooking up a whole meal that you don't particularly need. So that was the sort of thing I thought you could finish off the night before, ready for the next day to kick it all off again.
Yeah.
Any things that you add to help us be productive, keep us connected, and life as normal as possible, Christie?
No, I think that's a really great start for us then. And I think, if you are new to working from home, or if you're feeling a little stale, I hope one of these 9 tips helps you refresh that direction, and really helps you get on top of some of that work that you're avoiding.
Yes.
It
should be quite a productive time for people. And even if the work is slowing down in any particular way, particularly if they run their own business like we do as well, that maybe it's time to write some blog posts or refresh the website, or to use your time productively like that if you're working for yourself. So I think it can just be productive time for us to be using our time wisely.
Definitely. Yeah. Good luck.
I think that wraps it up, Christie.
Sure does. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.